kind of a comfortable victory today.
For us, for the last few weeks, yeah, it is kind of it was a blowout. I was hoping there at the end it got a little hairy scary, but you know, there's we got a lot of guys that haven't played a whole lot this season who made big plays for us during a game, and guys who played 50 snaps and normally, you know, might not play or play 10 snaps. So that's big for us. Those guys were able to come through, and you never know when your number is going to be called.
Seems like a pretty complete game. Defense played well.
Defense, I thought, played really. You know, you hold somebody 8 points, you're doing an excellent job, and you know, Coach Wood and his defensive staff really prepare the guys. You know, this morning we do a walkthrough out in the parking lot, and offense was on one side of the parking lot and defense on the other. And, you know, boy, they're just dialed in and doing an excellent job, you know, with the final preparation before the game begins. Thought we tackled well for the most part defensively. Someone told me we had 5 sacks, which is good. We had good pass rush. We knew we were going to have to do that. That was going to be a big part of the game. Offensively, different guys kind of made big plays for us. Chris Brazel kind of dominated a drive for a touchdown, and Chris Carter had 2 touchdown catches that were huge for us. I thought Michael was really accurate. You know, he didn't practice 3 days this week. He was hurt. So we were working up until this morning. He was going to play, but he's a tough joker, man, and he gets out there and he plays. You know, so we were down some receivers and, you know, a few offensive linemen and guys that were backing him up just stepped in and played really well.
What was Pratt's issue?
You know, he got hit and kind of sprained his knee a little bit. You know, he was having a hard time running around. But he's all right, obviously.
How do you look ahead at this? You know, this game you got coming up.
You know, we've had a lot of crossover games where I've got to watch. You know, UTSA, they played Florida Atlantic, they played ECU, they played almost everybody that we've played the last few weeks. They played at some point in time. So you know, UAB, I got to watch them there. So there's they got a good ball club. You know, Jeff Traylor, their head coach, has done an excellent job over there, and you know, very talented. They've got a very experienced quarterback. I believe it's a 7th-year guy. Is that correct? I think that might be right. Is that right? Yeah, you know the stats. That's a long time playing. You know, so they're really talented, and you know we've done some advanced scouting on them. You know, but we'll really dig into it on the plane ride home and then tomorrow.
What's your level of optimism with 2 wide receivers able to do?
I don't know. We'll see. You know, you know, I'm obviously not a doctor, so you know, they'll tell us if they can go or not. I don't know. You know, they're both, but both of them were here today, Lawrence Keys and Quan Jackson, and they're really into it. You know, and that's I think indicative of the kind of young men we have here. That even when they're injured, they're pulling for their teammates, and sometimes you don't get that. Guys get hurt, and they pile like a baby. Those 2 guys are, you know, real men.
The press.
It's good to go. Look good to me.
Coach Fritz, what could you tell me about the leadership of Michael Pratt and how he goes about his business?
Well, he's a really a servant leader. You know, his parents, you know, he was raised in a family, they were missionaries, and you know, he's just always giving back, and he was that way before. He was homeschooled because they were traveling around so much. I think until he got into high school, maybe, and so just a really neat family and a really good young man. You know, he's an excellent student. I think he's a 3.5 or something like that. And, you know, he just, you know, takes care of his business. Tell him to do something once he does it, you know. So he's a good guy to have as your quarterback.
It also flows through the rest of the team. I noticed that today you guys were pretty much a well-oiled machine from start to finish, just like Michael. You guys let the game come to you. You guys didn't force anything. Is that a testament to Michael, testament to the entire team, or would you consider that?
Well, that's how we do it. You know, we have what we call a plan to win, and the first component of the plan to win is win the turnover takeaway margin. I've been coaching a long time. We've been +1 or better turnover takeaway. We won 91% of our games, a whole lot of different levels. You know, but it takes the players to buy into it. You know, I don't know if you notice how we have the ball high and tight, claw the ball from the body, lock the elbow, wrist above the elbow all the time, chin it, tip of the ball underneath the chin. And if your quarterback doesn't do that, you got problems, and because he's the leader of the team and he's involved with the ball every single play, so he does an excellent job of reinforcing that, philosophy for our team.
You guys have had, as a season, obviously a great season. You guys are the only group of 5 team right now to be ranked in the college football top 25. So what can we say about how this whole season has gone today?
Well, they've done a great job of fighting through adversity. So, that's, we've had guys getting banged up and, we haven't played well the whole time. We're kind of finding a little different way to win with controlling the clock and doing some things like that. But, they're just, every week they buy into what we're selling. And if the players do that, you got an opportunity to be successful.
And my last question for you is, what could you tell me about FAU as a team? What you think?
Well, I thought they battled the whole game. I got a lot of respect for Tom Herman. My college coach, a guy named Ron Randleman, he comes to every one of our home games. He'll be there this week. He's also the head coach at Sam Houston State, and Tom coached for him for I think 6 years. So we kind of come from the same family, and I think he's he's doing a really nice job of building the program here at FAU.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You betcha. Anybody got anything?
Yes, I do. Willie, first of all, with Michael Pratt missing that practice time, how much does his experience help? Because he came out and was as sharp as he's ever been right off the bat, despite missing.
It really helps out a bunch. I tried to get him not to practice at all. I tried to come out there and I told him, you're going to be fine. You've been there, done that. There's nothing they can throw at you. You haven't seen 100 times. And, so he, I don't think he would not have been able to play this week if he didn't have all the experience that he's got.
Yeah, and then also last week, the receiver injuries hit you during the game and you hadn't planned for it. How much did it help this week that you kind of knew what your situation was going
to that's a good question, Gary. It's good, when you know ahead of time who's going to play and who isn't. The only guy that we thought might have a chance to play and we were waiting for the warm-ups to see was Keith Brown, and he felt pretty good. I think he'll be full speed this week, and they had a huge catch for us.
Yeah. And it looked Memphis, SMU did win today, so you're in the exact same situation you were last year. It looks like you win on Friday, you're the host, and if you don't, you're out. You have experience in that last year, but just how good do you feel about your positioning right now going into the final game?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Just with SMU winning, basically, if you beat UTSA, you're going to host the conference championship game, and if you lose, you're not going to be in the conference championship game, which is the exact same situation you were in when you went to Cincinnati last year. Just how comfortable do you feel in that spot now? Well,
you just got to do it. It's I don't know if that helps you any that you were in the same spot last year or not. We've always talked about 1-0, just doing the very best you can every single day and carry it over to the next day, the next day, the next day, and the next day, and then you do it games. We're gonna have to prepare for a really good UTSA team, and I won't talk about it. I'm sure the kids understand that. You win this game, Friday, you're gonna play another one, and you're gonna play it at home. So we just want to go 1-0 this week.
And UTSA, I think they had a 19-play drive in the second quarter, and it got no points. Not UTSA, FAU. How big was that in the game? And Jarius Monroe made a really good tackle on one of the plays, and they came.
I'm really proud of Jarius. He has become a very efficient tackler, and you're right. That was a big tackle by him, and then a nice job on the. I think it was 4th and 4, and good tight coverage and keeping him in the pocket, making him throw on rhythm, and then we got out of there with the offense. We had to start at the 4-yard line. So yeah, that was a big play by him. He had nice tackles today. You good?
I'm good, thank you.
You got one?
Yeah. So you were talking about obviously the game for next week. How much does being battle tested, how much credence or value do you put in being battle tested going into a game like that?
Well, as a head coach, you got to be careful about how much you're practicing, and I didn't understand that years ago. I thought more was better, and I was working on tackling all the time, and and inside drills and team drills. So we got cut back quite a bit because number one, it's your 12th game of the season, but number two, it's a shorter week. So and we're banged up. So, but we got to get the work done, that we need to in order to, prepare for UTSA, because it's a different opponent and we can't just line up and do the same stuff. They've got great coaches over there too. So, we got to develop a really nice game plan over the next, 3-4 days.
For all that Michael has accomplished for this program, with this program, maybe how ironic is it, or how cool is it that he became the all-time passing leader back home?
Yeah, I think he had 300, 400 people here at the game watching him. He knows about every third person down this neck of the woods. He's the greatest quarterback in Tulane history. It really is. I mean, and we've had great quarterbacks here. I'm not trying to diminish that, but when you put into his statistics plus the wins that he's gotten, I mean, he's done a tremendous job. He really has, and he's just we've been blessed to have him.